Did you say the words, basically, I love owls?
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
On my first year as a digital nomad, I signed up for summer school with a class full of 18-year-olds as a woman in my 30s. I spent a month in Florence, Italy, and surrounding villages in the beautiful Tuscan region studying furniture making while I experienced local life.
Multilingual meetup that I attended last week. Wow, that was fast.
Is going back to school in my 30s worth it or a disaster? While the jury is still out to this question, I have landed in Florence. In this video, I'll show you how I got a relatively affordable apartment in the most expensive city in Italy, how I found a surprisingly affordable summer school program, my best and worst experience in Florence, and completely unexpected wild experience I've had in the Tuscan countryside near Florence. This is my second time here, but first time actually living as an expat in the city. This time, I'm not a tourist, but a digital nomad living here while studying for summer school. So instead of an Airbnb or hotel, I got myself an apartment through a local agency. This tiny little place costs over 1,500 euro a month, which is actually considered really cheap because I was unable to find anything on Airbnb. This is actually done through a rental agency. And they make you pay a deposit, you have to pay your own utility at the end of the month as well. And also a tourist tax, which I think it's €5 per day until the 7th day. So for me, because I'm staying for a month, it amounts to almost $40 in total. Everything that I can find on Airbnb, VRBO is over $3,000, some $4,000, which is absolutely insane. And the other ones that look cheap, affordable, and decent, they were booked out like months and months before. I inquired 3 months before, they were already booked out. And this place is the only place that said, yes, we still have availability. So if you're coming to Florence in the summer, just be ready for this insane housing market because it's just super competitive, very expensive. I arrived just in time for registration and orientation. As a designer, I wanted to explore a different channel of creativity by moving my design from digital to physical, and furniture has been a passion of mine. I found this summer program at the Florence Institute of Design International. The school is located in a historic building with the most beautiful frescoes on the ceiling and cool modern furniture everywhere else on the floor. Not to mention some rare antiques. This, you can open it. Oh my god. I didn't.
You can store something in here.
Wow.
There's a key.
I can't believe this. Life as an expat is indeed a lot different from life as a tourist in Italy. Shortly before I arrived in Florence, I encountered something I only saw on TV recently.
I was waiting for my train in Catania to Florence, and as I was waiting, 2 police officers came up to me and then said, "Documenti." And I knew they were asking for my documents, passports, immigration documents. And I actually have seen this in an Italian TV show not long ago, so I understood exactly what they meant, presented my passport. And the funny thing is, they were flipping through my passport, and I don't think they flipped through to the right page. They were supposed to flip to my, bio page and or the Schengen visa page showing a valid visa to Italy, but they were actually not doing that. They flipped through to my US visa from a long time ago, from like probably 5 years ago before I had the green card. And they said, "Yeah, thank you, miss," in English. I was wondering if they even know how to read the visa, and or if they did they think that because the US is okay with her, they didn't even need to see if she has a valid visa to the EU. So I'm most curious about that, and also I have never been asked this before. I guess this is a semi-common thing in Europe because I did read that from a few Reddit threads.
Before classes begin, I decided to check off a few tourist destinations that I didn't have time to do last time I was here. Little did I know I was about to fall into some common traps. The Duomo in Florence is absolutely the most beautiful cathedral I've ever seen. Its unique architectural style resembling storybook sketches is unparalleled. But I wasn't prepared for thousands of spiral staircases and a surprisingly small and extremely crowded rooftop viewpoint. So if you want to visit the Duomo in Florence, make sure to get into tip-top shape first and be okay with sharing this breathtaking view with lots of others. Meanwhile, avoiding eating near any tourist destination is probably a universal rule we should all remember by now, but this day I thought things would be different. And reality hits harder after my first bite of a fancy-sounding panino, or Italian sandwich.
So Stella,
Yes!
what do you think of this attempted masterpiece of sandwich?
It's tasteless. It's
dear.
turkey sandwich with bland eggplant. And it is awful.
But I did discover an absolutely gem of a sandwich place called La Boite. It's a small bistro and all of its menu items are named after characters from the famous American TV show Friends. The panini here are crunchy, fresh, with a little spice inside. Absolutely heavenly and not a tourist trap. Back to school, one of the best highlights of my furniture design summer program is the field trips to some of the best made-in-Italy factories and brands. This day, we took the bus for 4 hours to the other side of Italy to see how leather furnitures are made. Potrona Frau, a brand with 100 years of history, is the proud supplier of leather for Ferrari. As we walked the grounds of the factory, we were given a demonstration of how a couch is made by the factory's youngest craftsman master, Francesco. We were told by the guide that this entire town is employed by this factory and people are genuinely very happy to work here, which is rare and great to hear these days. Before we left, we were given the opportunity to buy some of the brand's iconic chairs in mini version. But guess how much this tiny little armchair is? €500. On another day, we went to tour the showroom of a well-known Italian furniture brand called Edra. Italian design is like no other. As a designer, I'm always in awe of the high level of creativity and impeccable aesthetics of Italian design. As soon as we arrived, I was blown away by the highly creative furniture here, including this couch in the shape of a fluffy bear taking a nap.
We're sleeping with the bear.
All kinds of dreamy-looking polycarbonate outdoor furniture. This multifunctional couch in the shape of hand. This spaghetti chair, and this stunning Swarovski flower chair, which I was given the green light to sit on for a photo. Outside of school, I spent time with my friends Camille and Pritpau in the nearby town of Settignano, and that's when the fun of local life really kicked in. One day, we were looking for a restaurant to eat and somehow ended up accidentally crashing a local doctor's retirement party.
Tell us what happened.
We've literally gate crashed someone's, it turned out to be a retirement party, just followed the signs to a restaurant, got
Basement, which was really sketchy. We thought maybe we were going to get killed.
and then we saw all these people and we were like, oh, it's obviously a private event. And then the bar guy's like, yeah, come in. So I'm like, okay.
Right then and there, the generous owner of the restaurant who invited us in to crash this party stopped by our table to say hello. He even provided us with free food and drinks. And he also invited us to come back another time, which we did, but unfortunately, we didn't see him the second time. During our remaining time in the Tuscan countryside on the weekends when I didn't have class, my friends and I are especially interested in exploring local villages untouched by mass tourism. We came across this amazing website called I borghi più belli d'Italia, which means the most beautiful villages of Italy. And we found two incredible hidden gems. The first village is called Certaldo Alto, a medieval village with modern art scattered around every corner. We love that it's possible to just hop on the train and hop off to find ourselves in these villages. Like many medieval villages in Italy, once you hop off the train, you'll see the modern part of town before getting into the ancient part. In the case of Certaldo, the ancient and more beautiful part of town is perched on top of a hill, and there is a funicular, or funicolare in Italian, that transports people directly from downhill to uphill.
Wait, but it's moving by itself. There's no car. Excuse me? Look at that. We just witnessed an almost collision of the cable car, but it didn't.
As an architecture and modern art enthusiast, Certaldo Alto is purely heaven. It's not every day that we get to see a well-preserved, beautiful medieval village seamlessly transformed into an open-air modern art museum with installations everywhere. But some installations are a bit more unexpected than others.
In medieval times, they were really conservative and they were really conservatively dressed. Okay.
Busty Mama Part 2.
What's even more unexpected was an incident, or rather an accident, that happened so quickly while we were sitting on the bench resting, I didn't even have time to realize what just happened.
Sitting went very wrong for Pritpal today.
So, what the hell just happened?
You go off the bench. And
I got off the bench
like a bloody seesaw. This thing completely tipped over, and I had to save my camera.
How did that happen?
I was sitting. Maybe I was sitting too far here.
Oh.
I just kept going. No, I had my camera, and I was like, it's gonna fall. So I kind of snatched it up like that, and fell on my arm.
Lesson learned: do not sit on the edge of a bench. Speaking of which, before we left, we discovered the rooftop of a clock tower with the most amazing view of the village, and Pritpal, who just suffered a fall, didn't seem fazed by the possibility of another one. Word of caution, kids or adults, do not try this at home.
Giant.
Come on, Michelangelo.
We did do a safe thing on the rooftop, which is random discussions of linguistics that took an unexpected turn.
When I heard Camille speak French and she was talking about something unsightly, but I thought it's sexy. So Camille, what was that?
I was talking about mouche à merde.
Mouche à merde. Mouche à merde.
Which is a shitfly. And it is the blue bottle and green bottle flies that go on turds.
Oh no!
And in French, you refer to them as mouche à merde. And,
Isn't that sexy?
and I was telling Pritpal because he thought one of the flies here was a mouche à merde, and I said, "Non, tu reconnaîtras quand tu verras."
Oh,
Which
see?
means
So sexy.
You'll recognize it when you see it. That's not mouche à merde. So we were having this conversation in French, and Stella chips in saying, "Oh, French is so pretty," and I was like, "Stella, we were just talking about shit."
I'm so uncouth.
No, I'm uncouth.
The second hidden gem village we found on the website is called Loro Ciuffenna, a picturesque village accessible by train and with zero tourists other than us. In fact, the village is so obscure, even my Italian teacher, who is a native of the Tuscany region, asked me why on earth we went there. But it's villages like this that we love, small, peaceful, and beautiful. It has the best ragu sauce that we bought in a jar and finished within a day after we left. It's also usually in hidden gem locations like this where we find unexpected inspirations. We randomly stumbled upon a church with no one inside and discovered a hidden feature.
Hi, Camille. Hi, Stella. I just realized this is the perfect place to record ASMR.
It absolutely is.
Back to Florence, as I was getting ready to wrap up my 1-month stay here, I went to the famous Piazzale Michelangelo, or Michelangelo Square in English, where we saw some exhilarating street performances, and finally revealed the answers to my ridiculous statement in the beginning of this video.
What are your thoughts on Florence the second time around?
I love it. I think I want to move here.
Wow. Well, I'm getting quite distracted by this rather strident singer somewhere who I think may...
We should go.
La-di-la, oh la-di-la, 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 la-di-la.
Did you say the word? Basically, I love Alice.
Yes,
Okay.
I did. I just said the very word.
We don't need anything.
What?
That's the end of the video, isn't it?
No, I have to document it in case this leaked. And then somebody asked me why. So the reason why is I'm a designer. And I saw this.
You like us because you're a designer.
I saw this mobile toilet that has an upside down heart that looks like an ass. And I said, basically, I love ass because it says I love something. Zabach. So I'm being unfairly accused by this gentleman here.
I'm not entirely sure that you haven't made it worse.
Well, it turns out being awkward while trying to explain away my awkward blunders and making it even more awkward is my secret talent. Meanwhile, I wrapped up my stay in Florence celebrating my birthday with a table full of classmates and some familiar goofy faces.
All the way from China or America and parts unknown,
Going back to school in my 30s with 18-year-olds in Italy turns out to be both extremely fun but challenging at the same time. I realized I can't really keep up with everything, having to attend classes every day, do projects and presentations, run my own business full-time, and socialize with my friends. That's the main reason why my final furniture design project turned out to be a disaster, looking like this. Stay tuned for another episode of my digital nomad journey full of unexpected adventures. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy watching my videos, and I'll see you soon next time.